Hey, I'm Jacqueline Thomas, the host of a brand new Black Effect original series, Black Lit, the podcast for diving deep into the rich world of Black literature. Black Lit is for the page turners, for those who listen to audiobooks while running errands or at the end of a busy day. From thought-provoking novels to powerful poetry, we'll explore the stories that shape our culture. Listen to Black Lit on the Black Effect Podcast Network, iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, I'm Gianna Prudenti.
And I'm Jamae Jackson Gadsden. We're the hosts of Let's Talk Offline from LinkedIn News and iHeart Podcasts.
There's a lot to figure out when you're just starting your career. That's where we come in.
Think of us as your work besties you can turn to for advice.
And if we don't know the answer, we bring in people who do, like negotiation expert Maury Taheri-Pour.
If you start thinking about negotiations as just a conversation, then I think it sort of eases us a little bit.
Listen to Let's Talk Offline on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Esty Cupp, and I've spent my career interviewing people about politics, presidential elections, and some really tough breaking news. But now I need a break, and I think you do too. So on my new podcast, Off the Cup, I'll still be interviewing people, usually famous and most likely my friends, but about life. You know, the stuff that consumes us when we're not consumed by politics. So come join me every Wednesday for some conversational self-care. Listen to Off the Cup on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.
There's a lot of talk about mindfulness these days, which is fantastic. I mean, we all want to be more present and self-aware, more patient, less judgmental. We discuss all these themes on the podcast, but it's hard to actually be mindful in your day-to-day life. That's where Calm comes in. I've been working with Calm for a few years now with the goal of making mindfulness fun and easy. Calm has all sorts of content to help you build positive habits, shift your self-talk, reframe your negative thoughts, and generally feel better in your daily life. So many incredible options from the most knowledgeable experts in the world, along with renowned meditation teachers. You can also check out my 7-minute daily series to help you live more mindfully each and every day. Right now, listeners of On Purpose get 40% off a subscription to Calm Premium at calm.com/J. That's CALM.com/JAY for 40% off. Calm your mind, change your life.
I've never opened up in any of these shows about this. I don't want to be boxed as this role model just because people want to see me as a role model. I'm a human being.
With more than 3 decades of hit records, awards to prove it. Please welcome
Nicky Jam, everybody.
Yeah. What age did you get to where you were like, oh, that's not normal?
You're going really deep. My mom not being there made me not care about living. Now I'm going to tell you this, though. I forgive, but I never forget.
We're thrilled to announce that we've reached 3 million subscribers. We're incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our new releases. We're dedicated to bringing you the content you love. Our team carefully analyzes what resonates most with you to bring on board the best experts and storytellers to help you improve your life. Some of your favorite topics are sleep science, weight loss, physical fitness, navigating breakups, habit building, and understanding toxic relationships. Upcoming episodes include one of the biggest names in health and science, world-renowned relationship therapist, and your favorite manifestation expert is back to drop new findings. Hit subscribe to not miss any of these episodes. If you think of someone who would love this episode, send it to them to make their day.
The #1 health and wellness podcast.
Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty.
The one, the only Jay Shetty.
What would you say is your earliest childhood memory that has defined who you are today?
Packing groceries at the supermarket and freestyling while I was doing it. That's the way I was discovered. I would always go there because I would make $20 by quarters because they would give me always quarters every time I packed groceries. And I'll make $20 with that. I would buy ham, cheese, milk, cigarettes from my dad and stuff like that. And I would go every day. I would walk probably like 30 minutes to go there. And that's me, you know, always trying to like take care of my family. but at the same time having fun while I do it, you know, rapping and doing music and making people laugh and making people having fun. That's Nicky, you know, that's the Nicky I always have in my mind. Even when I was in those dark moments, that's what went through my head in those moments.
That's amazing. So you're packing groceries, that's your job, and you're freestyling to the customers' groceries that you're packing.
It wasn't really my job. I was 12 years old. It was illegal for me to work there. But the manager from the supermarket, he would let me do it because he knew I was trying to make some money. So every now and then he'd be like, "Okay, Nicky, you got to go because, you know, the supervisors are here or whatever." But I would, like, you know, I would pack groceries. I would freestyle, like, you know, the lettuce and tomatoes, and like I would rhyme the food that I was packing. I became like a little celebrity there. And people were like, yo, there's this kid that he be rapping while he's packing groceries. And everybody wanted to see me over there in Puerto Rico at the supermarket in Bayamon. This lady came to me once and I wasn't in a rapping mood. I was just, you know, packing groceries. It was a bad day or whatever. And she looks at me and she's like, so you're not going to rap for me? And I'm like, yeah, so I'll rap. And I started freestyling and she was shocked because I was a kid. I was like 11 years old. And she was like, can you come with me? I'm like, no, I don't know you. And she was like, I'm like, why should I, you know, go with you? And she's like, my husband, he's a producer for this record label and I want him to hear you. And I'm like, okay, in that case, yes, let's go. So I got in the car with her. She took me to her husband and I started rapping for him. And next day he was in my house with a big ass contract like this. I told my dad, it's like, I don't even know what it says. I'm like, I don't care what it says. Just sign it. You know what I'm saying? I want to get my first deal. And that's how I got my first deal, you know, working at that supermarket. The album was whack. It was horrible. I mean, how creative can you be when you're 12 years old? I had to write all the lyrics myself. And I wasn't really good writing in that moment. I was more a freestyler, you know?
Yeah.
But I did an album. It didn't sell anything. Can I curse here?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can.
It didn't sell shit. So, but the good thing about it, DJs recognized me all over Puerto Rico. The famous mixtape era was coming.
Yeah.
I started, you know, recording in these mixtapes and I became one of the biggest artists in the mixtape industry, you know, included Daddy Yankee. That obviously Daddy Yankee was like the boss in that moment in the mixtape. He was already the boss in those days. I'm talking about 1992, 93, 94, those years. And yeah, I mean, from the album, nothing happened with the album, but I got to be a bigger singer and more famous in Puerto Rico because of these mixtapes.
Yeah. How did you not let, like at such a young age, I can imagine that feeling like you're getting a record deal, you have no idea what you're signing, but then, as you said, the album was whack. How do you deal with the fact that, was there any negativity at that time?
Nah.
Like no one cared?
I was just happy I had a deal.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, in those days, the urban music, the reggaeton music was not even something that was happening. So just for me to have an album and show people that I had an album, for me was big.
Yeah.
I didn't care about, you know, having hits, because I didn't know about that. You know, I didn't even, to be honest with you, I didn't even think my album was going to be a hit. You know, because I knew about the people that was doing big. In those days, we had Vico C, Bruli MC, all these rappers that were killing the game in the urban industry in Puerto Rico. So I know I was nothing like them. And to be honest with you, when I got to Puerto Rico, my Spanish wasn't really too good because I was born in the States. So when I got to Puerto Rico, I had to learn the language. So if you listen to that album, you know, closely, you would realize my Spanish wasn't really that good. So imagine a kid singing, writing when he's 12 years old music. His Spanish is not the best. Obviously, I didn't expect for it to be the best. I was just happy I had an album and I was signed.
Yeah, that's makes a lot of sense. I'm just trying to put myself back into that age and thinking how would I have felt if I was you. But one of the things that I saw, I mean, the docuseries that you had on Netflix was incredible. Like it was super powerful. And I remember I think it was like 2018 when it came out, but there was something that was really powerful in that there's the scene where you have this experience of when you run into watching your mom outside a restaurant having sex in a car.
Yeah.
Like that moment feels like a defining moment as well in your early life. Walk us through your headspace in that moment.
Wow. Well, the reality of everything is that I lived in a street where girls would, work as prostitutes in the corners. And I would see my mom, in those corners. And when she got into a car, I knew what was going on. So when you're a kid and you see stuff like that, obviously it affects you, but at the same time, you think it's normal because you don't know better, You haven't seen a different world. You only see what's going on. The only thing that would probably make me think it's not normal is watching TV and seeing families on TV and stuff like that. But I just thought it was my life. And to be honest with you, the whole street where I was living, kids were living like that. So it was kind of like normal, like it was kind of like normal. The reality is it's not normal. Today I suffer because of situations like that, Even if I have success in my life, even if I'm doing really good and stuff like that, sometimes I go back to those traumas. You know what I'm saying? I go back to those moments that affects my life. A lot of people think because I told my story, it's done. And that's a lie. That's not the way it works. You still have it there. You still have it in your head. And even the situation with my mom and everything I went through living in the hood and all the stuff that I saw, when people come from the war, they have PTSD, right? They need to get medication because of that and stuff like that. The reality is when you live in the hood and you see all these stuff, like stuff that I saw with my mom and situations that I saw in my house and stuff that I saw in the hood about friends of mine getting shot and other people that are not my friends getting shot and stuff like that, you get PTSD too. But people don't understand that. So when you get a situation, when you go through, back to the darkness, even if you're successful, people judge you and they're like, oh, he's back again. You saw my story. You saw what I went through. Why would you judge me? When I came out with my story, you said, you deserve everything you have. It's funny because I always did deserve everything I had because I worked for what I had. All those moments, especially like the moment that you just talked about, my mom, because your mom as a man is everything for you.
For sure.
She's the base of the house. She's the one that take care of you. She makes you think that everything's going to be okay. Not having that causes an effect in me in every situation, even with my kids. I don't know how to give the love that I have to give because I never had it. A lot of people be saying sometimes, yeah, I'm going to give my kids everything I didn't have. That's not the way it works. If you don't know how to do it, how can you do it? It affects me in every way. But the good thing, I have a good sense of humor. And even in bad situations, I laugh and I make people laugh. I try to enjoy myself the best. But I hope that answers your question.
It does. No, thank you for being so open as well and vulnerable, man. I think it's amazing to see that because you're so right that when you're living your life, it looks normal. What age did you get to where you were like, oh, that's not normal? Like when did it kind of register where you were like, oh, wait a minute, that's not what life looks like for everyone?
Wow, you're going really deep. Okay, I could say this. Yeah. My mom used to whoop me because I used to pee in my bed, right? I don't know. She probably didn't understand it. It was not something that I wanted to do. It happens.
It's a normal thing kids do, yeah.
I think when kids pee on their bed, I was like probably 7 years old, something like that. It's just a problem that they have and automatically it happens. It's not like you wake up and it's not like you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the bathroom. It's more like it's something that happens. Yeah. You wake up and you just peed on your bed. So this white kid, his name is Billy. I wish I could find him wherever he is. Billy Janetti, his name. I've been trying to look for him on Google because he was my best friend when I was a kid, and I can't find him everywhere. Probably had his name was different, and I knew him as Billy Janetti. He studied with me in school and everything. I stayed at his house. He was this kid, typical white kid that had everything, Atari, Nintendo, and all that stuff. And his mom had his room decorated with, a boy's room with, posters on the wall and stuff like that. And I stayed at his house and I peed on the couch where I slept. I woke up frightened because I thought I was getting my ass whooped. And she comes to me and she sees me that I'm up because I turned on the light.
Billy's mom.
And she's like, what happened? You okay? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I peed on my bed. I peed on the bed. I peed on the couch. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about that. I'll take care of that. And, you know, she gave me clothes so I could take a shower, and she gave me food, and she took care of the situation. I was shocked. And I was like, oh, so this is how it should be.
Mm.
This is how it should be. It's not getting whooped, you know. And this is how she probably treats Billy. And that's when I realized that what was going on in my house wasn't normal.
Mm.
That situation of me peeing on the bed affected me so much that because of my mom doing drugs and not taking care of what was going on in the house, I would go to school with my clothes smelling like pee. And the teacher in front of the kids would spray me and spray because I smell bad.
With cologne.
With the spray, with
deodorant.
And she would spray me in front of everybody. Obviously, the kids will laugh, and that affected me as well. Obviously, because it's embarrassing, you know, like in front of everybody. That's how important it is for the parents to do their job and take care of the kids, you know, because it's just, you know, it's not something that a kid should go through, you know.
Mm. Mm. Why do you want to reconnect with Billy? What makes you want to reach out?
Well, he was my best friend when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I just want to know how he looks like.
Yeah.
I want to know, is he okay? I want to know if he's alive. I want to know if he remembers me. I want to know if he knows that I'm famous. He was my best friend when I was a kid, and we went through so much, and I wish I could see him again. I mean, I don't know, would you want to see
You know what, it's so funny because I have a similar, probably, how old were you when you and Billy were friends?
Probably like 8, 7 years old.
Yeah, so when I was at primary school, elementary school in England, I had a friend that I recently connected with again because I was talking about him on the show, and then he reached out. His name's Ian. And so me and Ian, like, he was my best friend in primary school since we were like 4 or 5 years old.
Me too. Exactly
and then I
the
completely
same.
lost touch after we were 11 years old, and we went to different secondary schools.
How old are
high
you
schools.
now?
I'm 36 now.
36, yeah.
And so it was like, but I haven't seen him again, but we did message a bit, and it was just.
I've Googled his name 50 other ways, and I just can't find him.
Yeah.
I mean, his name, I wish you could see this show. I mean, his name is Billy Janetti.
Yeah.
I know him as Billy Janetti, and if you see this show, please, you know, hit me up on Instagram and DM me, and let me see if I could at least meet you again and talk to you again. I would love to.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, no, those kind of friendships are different, and yeah, that nostalgia of being able to look back and see.
Oh my God, a lot. And I'm very nostalgic. Like I'm fascinated with the past, and not only with my past, with the past. Like I see movies from the past and I go crazy. I don't know why I like them so much. Like I like to see how simple life was in the past. I think it's so complicated now with all this and, you know, yes, we need it and stuff like that. But I used to like the way it was, you know.
Would you say your life's become more simple or more complicated?
It depends in what terms.
Yeah.
If you're going to say in terms of temptation, it's simpler. If you're going to say in terms of a better lifestyle, no.
Even compared to what you grew up with.
Yeah. I mean, my girl's here right now, and she knows that I don't even touch my phone anymore. I don't care about it anymore. I just feel that it's just toxic, you know? And even though we need it, I use it because we need it. But it doesn't make me happy anymore. I'm one of the first influencers of the Spanish reggaeton, not reggaeton, the first influencers there was back in 2014, you know, when Instagram started. I used to do videos everywhere, sit down here, sit down everywhere, show my lifestyle, show the way I would talk to people from the streets and make people laugh and make jokes and stuff like that. And it came to a moment where record labels wanted to obligate me to do it, and it just didn't feel organic. And when something's not organic, it just doesn't feel good. What you're doing right now, you're doing it because you like it, you enjoy it. But when they tell you have to do it, it's different.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
different.
it's different. You doing this because you like it. I could see you enjoying your job. that's nice, that's badass. But when they like, we need you to do content because they like Nicky Jam being an influencer. I'm like, nah, I'm not an influencer. I'm a singer.
Yeah.
I do music and I started influencing people by Instagram, but do not obligate me to do something because automatically it's not anything that's obligated, it's not organic. And what's not organic doesn't look cool.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It
100%.
doesn't work. And I think we're living at a special time right now where you can own your own media and you can, like you said with this show, like we can make it as long or as short as we like. We can sit down with whoever we want and find interesting.
Record labels, when I turn on a live or I do something, they see how my everything goes up, numbers, and then they're like, yo, we need you to do this. I don't want to do nothing you need. I want to do something I need. I want to do something I like. I want to do something I enjoy. If you tell me you have to sing, I don't want to sing. If you tell me, can you please sing? I'll probably think about it. But there's nothing better than singing when you want to sing. You know, when you want to do something, you enjoy it more. And that's just the way I am. Even in a relationship, if my girl tells me, go get me a cup of water, I'm like, hell no. If she tell me, baby, can I get a cup of water? I get her 150 cups of water. And I rub her feet while she drinking it. Because that's just the way I am. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I am. I don't run by command. I've never been that type of guy. And that's why I have the success that I have, because I always live life the way I want to live it.
It's a beautiful way to live, but the world's kind of set up with all these rules and contracts and things you have to sign and everything. So how have you managed to hold on to that? How have you kept that when there are so many demands and Nicky do this, Nicky do that? Like,
I don't do shit nobody tells me to do. I've never been that guy. And that probably could be a situation. Sometimes they call me and they say, we need you to do a video for this show. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I don't do stuff people tell me I have to do. I don't work like that. I don't like people telling me there's a structure of life. There's a blueprint of living. Hell no. I live the life the way I want to live it. I'm a good guy. And I always work with everybody and I listen to people because I'm open, for ideas and I'm open for everything. I'm not open for commands. It's just that. That's just the way I am. And if you tell me, Nicky, what do you think if we do this? I'm like, oh, yeah. Why? I want to know why.
Yeah.
Well, because I think if you do this and we do it this way, we could do that and this could happen. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's work. I'd rather work that way than a command.
Yeah.
And telling me I have to. And that's just the way I am. And that's the way I've been living for years,
That's what I was going to say. It makes sense for you because you've had to be your own boss and make decisions in tough times, and you've had to be responsible.
And I've paid my dues because of that too. At the same time, I've been in situations where I almost got killed a lot of times, not once, probably like 50, 60 times. I've been in jail. I've been through so many things because I do whatever the I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I've done so many good things because I do whatever the I want to do. I've had so much success, and it's not even about success. It's about helping people too. Because the meaning of everything is, my whole way of thinking about things is, I want to inspirate people. If I open a restaurant, if I do a song, if I give away a scholarship, anything I do, even if I f up, I want people to get inspired by it. Because the reality is, we all f up. We're human beings. We're not angels. We don't have wings and shit. We all f up. So I want people to see things as inspiration. I like, to be honest with you, I know people think, they saw my story and they see it like, well, he's already has his success. He had his bad moments. He woke up like the Phoenix, because they call me the Phoenix in the urban music game. Because I came from the ashes and I came back and I did a comeback and conquered the world and soever. But the reality of everything is, I still go through shit. I still have my not bad days, bad months. Or I could say a whole bad year, even if I have success. You know, because we have these skeletons in the closet that are trying to pull me back. You know, the past is killing me. And a lot of people be like, the past, go, that's not the way it works. You know, we have a lot of people, especially men, going through mental health, you know, mental problems. And they just don't talk about it. They scared of talking about it. It's not easy for a man to do it because a man always have to have shit together, you know? Like, I'm a man. I never have a problem. I take care of everything. But that's not the way it works. You know, I go through anxiety sometimes. I get panic attacks. I get nervous. I get the shakes. I get a lot of shit I start thinking about because I'm a human being, you know, and I went through a lot of shit. And I'm paying a lot of things that I went through and a lot of things that I did in the past, you know, even if I have success, even if I help somebody, even if tomorrow I'll give $100 to a homeless guy or give away a scholarship through the Grammys or I don't know, give away a whole concert for free or whatever I do, I smile, but I go through, you know, my bad moments. So it's just, you know, it's just life.
Yeah.
It's just life.
Hi, I'm Essie Cupp, and I've spent the last 20 plus years knee-deep in politics and the news. I've covered some really tough subjects, from war to genocide to 6 presidential elections, way too much Trump. And you know what? I need a break, like a mental health break from the news, from the triggering headlines. And I kind of suspect some of you listening out there might need a break too. So my new podcast is going to be just that, a fun and loose space where I talk to my famous friends and people I admire about all the stuff that consumes us when we're not consumed by politics.
I did not really rebel in the 60s. I had no in the 70s. I made no money in the 80s. So when true crime came along, I missed that trend too.
So many great guests are joining me, from Josh Mankiewicz to Larry Wilmore to Molly Jong Fast to Josh Gad.
I'm so excited that you have this platform, and I am just like hoping that I don't destroy the platform in its earliest stages.
Listen to Off the Cup on the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.
Hey, I'm Gianna Prudenti.
And I'm Janae Jackson Gadsden. We're the hosts of Let's Talk Offline, a new podcast from LinkedIn News and iHeart Podcasts.
When you're just starting out in your career, you have a lot of questions, like, how do I speak up when I'm feeling overwhelmed?
Or, can I negotiate a higher salary if this is my first real job? Girl, yes.
Each week, we answer your unfiltered work questions.
Think of us as your work besties you can turn to for advice.
And if we don't know the answer, we bring in experts who do, like resume specialist Morgan Sanner.
The only difference between the person who doesn't get the job and the person who gets the job is usually who applies.
Yeah, I think a lot about that quote. What is it? Like, you miss 100% of the shots you never take?
Yeah, rejection is scary, but it's better than you rejecting yourself.
Together, we'll share what it really takes to thrive in the early years of your career,
without sacrificing your sanity or sleep.
Listen to Let's Talk Offline on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Across Generations, where the voices of Black women unite in powerful conversations. I'm your host, Tiffany Cross. I want you all to join me and be a part of sisterhood, friendship, wisdom, and laughter. In every episode, we gather a seasoned elder.
But even with a child, there's no such thing as the wrong thing if you love them.
Myself, as the middle generation. I don't feel like I have to get married at this big age in life, but it is a desire I have and something that I've navigated in dating. And a vibrant young soul for engaging intergenerational conversations.
I'm very jealous of your generation that didn't have to deal with Instagram and Tinder.
This is Across Generations, where Black women's voices unite, and together, you know how we do, we create magic. Listen to Across Generations podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, what creates it sounds like, it almost feels like you have that to share today. Like, you've come here with this feeling of like, I want people to know that despite the success, despite the arc of my journey from like a lot of pain to finding my genius and flow and the greatness that you've achieved, that you want people to know that I still have human emotions. I still have issues, what would you say are those things that come up now? What are the roots of those? What are those?
No,
experiences?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've never opened up in any of these shows about this. I've been going through alcohol problems this whole last year. It's because for some reason the past came back to me, and people have seen this, you know, and it affect me in a way that even I even said I was gonna retire, and that's a lie. I'm not retiring. I will never retire. I even posted a video. I edited a video and I posted it that I was retiring. It was the alcohol. You know, I've been battling with this for a couple of years now. I could say 1 or 2 years. You know, I can't say I'm an alcoholic, because if I say I'm an alcoholic, I'm lying. An alcoholic is a person that sees alcohol and starts shivering and drinks every single day. But I go through my days where I go crazy, 5 or 6 days. And people seen this. And to be honest with you, I smoke weed today because I'm dealing with the anxiety of not drinking. And I've been stopping, you know, drinking and all that because of the weed. The weed been helping me in a way. And people seen me smoke and they're like, oh, he went back. Well, weed was never a problem for me. It was perks and cocaine and other stuff. Weed was never a problem for me. So when people start seeing me smoking weed, they were like, oh, he went back again. Or they saw me drinking alcohol. He went back again. Reality is, I've always been battling with my situation. You know, I've just had good years, 7, 8, 9 years. And then I, you know, have my struggles again with other stuff. You know, you could say the alcohol, the weed, I don't see as a drug. That's just the way I see it. I smoke, it makes me chill. I get hungry sometimes, I eat, I laugh, and it gets my mind off all the negativity and drinking and stuff like that. And I just felt judged by people. Like, you know, like just because I stopped doing the other stuff and I've been clean for so many years, and then they see me smoking weed or they see me drinking alcohol, they judge me, but they saw my past. And it's contradicting, because it's like, okay, so you see my past, you say you feel bad about my situation, you understand my situation, but then you see me fall in any situation, or you see me do anything to deal with my anxiety or my present moment, and you judge me. And yeah, I do feel a type of way. It pisses me off. I ain't gonna be lying. But I can't get mad at the same time, because people don't understand. And you can't get mad if people don't understand your situation, you know? But at the same time, can you judge somebody if you don't know their situation?
Totally, yeah. Who are we to
You know,
judge?
I judged my mom for so many years until I heard what happened to her in the past. And that's why today I respect my mom and I understand my mom. She had a crazy past. So, you know, I wish I could share it, but out of respect for her, I won't
Absolutely.
do it.
I respect it
I don't
too.
know if I have the green light. Like stuff that I did talk about my mom is because I had the green light from her to talk about. But probably one day I come out and do another series, and, you know, and she gives me the green light to talk about whatever. But I don't think I'll do another series about my life. I think what I did was enough, and I don't want to. In a way, I don't want to be in a box. I feel people box me like this, like the how do you say this in English? Because I think in Spanish so much. Like a role model. I don't want to be a role model. I appreciate that people see me as a role model, but I'm a human being. And if I have to be a perfect human being to be a role model, I don't want to be a role model. I want to be a human. I want to keep being a human being. I want to be able to fall and get back up again, and fall and get back up again, and fall and get back up again. I don't want to be boxed as this role model just because people want to see me as a role model. And after I did this series, people see me as this guy that can't fuck up. Why? I'm not an angel. When you go to church, a lot of people say, I don't like going to church because I see shit in church that I don't like, and I see people from church doing things they don't have to do. They're not angels. They're fighting their battles. You cannot expect them to be perfect. Even the pastor, he's going to fuck up. He's a human being. Now, if we in the sky and we with God and there's angels fucking up, I understand. But none of these motherfuckers got wings. They human beings.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. And
That's
it's easy to judge people, you know?
Yeah.
It's easy to judge people, but if you had my money and you had my power and you had my past and you had my career, how would you manage it?
Mm.
You know? You can't say you know how you're going to do it because you never had it before, you know?
Mm. Hey, you're just catching me as I have my midday pick-me-up. I'm sure you've heard about Junie. Radhi and I put all of our love into creating this amazing drink. It's full of nootropics and adaptogens, great for that little boost of energy, enhanced focus, and a happy mind. And guess what? It's only 5 calories and absolutely no sugar. I hope you're going to try it out. It's available right now at Target. If you're a Target shopper, head there right now. And at Sprouts as well this summer. Go grab your Junie. It's powerful to hear that having context of your mum's past was so helpful in you making sense of who she was and why she was that way. I want to know for you, what was it that took you to drugs the first time? And what was it that took you back to alcohol this time? Like, what were the two motivations that took you there the first time and now as well?
Drugs was part of my family since I was a kid. My uncle died of AIDS because he shot heroin using somebody else's needles. He died in my face. My dad did drugs. My mom did drugs in the house. My uncle did drugs. My other uncle did drugs. Everybody in the house would come to my house to do drugs, and I would see that. A whole bunch of zombies in my house. So this started since that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm 11 years old, I moved to Puerto Rico, and kids in Puerto Rico were doing drugs like nothing in the hood. I'm not saying everybody in Puerto Rico does drugs. Where I was raised, it was normal to see kids doing drugs. And at 11, I started smoking weed. And from weed, a couple of years after, I went to coke. What made me do coke was what's the first girl that I had? She left me for another man when I was 14 or 15 years old. She left me because I was a kid and I didn't have a job or nothing like that. And she left me for a man that had a job and had inspiration and had all that, you know, blah, blah, blah. And my mom abandoned me. So to have another girl abandon me, it affected me in a way so big that I started doing cocaine.
Mm.
And from there, it went from cocaine to heroin to ecstasy to any type of drug until I got hooked with the perks and you know, codeine. And I was doing 30 perks a day for years. I cleaned myself for years because, you know, I got my shit together and I said I know it was destroying me and it was destroying my body and destroying my mind, destroying my health. But when I had success and I did it all and I was all this money and, you know, it's lonely in the top. For some reason, that lifestyle took me back to the past. And I started going out. I didn't do anything and I was bored and somebody had a thing of champagne and I just took one and I started drinking one. And from there it went to give me another one and there it gave me another one. And then I started traveling and I went to Europe and then the base where I was staying was Amsterdam during the week. And I had a little bar in the front and I started drinking and I thought it was something that I could do, you know, and while I was touring during the week and then weekends I would perform. Went back to Miami, it wasn't the same. I was still in Amsterdam, even if I was in Miami.
Mm.
And that's how I got back to it.
Mm. Where do you go for help? Like when you cleaned the first time and now you're being so open about this challenge that you have right now, like how have you been able to find the right help to support you through that journey?
Myself and my people, my girl. You know, my girl would tell me, Nicky, you drink and you sleep for a whole day and I'd be alone. That affected me. I'm like, oh shit, like really? Like, I leave you alone for like 8 hours and shit? and all the shit that I would do that I wouldn't remember, you know? And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a guy that do things and don't remember. So that helped me a lot. People around me, see people around me, you know, not liking me being this guy that's drinking and, you know, I've had fun. I ain't gonna lie. This whole time, I don't want to make it a sad story. I don't want people to think that I've been like sad and crying. I've had a lot of fun, but too much fun is not good, you know? Yeah, too much fun is not good. And if you forget shit and you don't remember shit is bad. And that's why I started smoking because I'm very anxious. If you see me here, I can't stop moving. That's just the way I am. I've been like that since I was a kid. I've never told this story before, but when I was a kid, I ate paint with lead. They paint the house where I was living with lead, and I used to eat that.
Oh, wow.
When I was a kid. So that lead got into my blood, and that lead affected me in a way that it makes me very anxious. My sister had it too. And so, you know, all the drugs that I did in the past and all that affected my nervous system. So I'm a very anxious person. And I ain't gonna lie, the weed helps me a lot. It's been helping me a lot. Somebody hears me and is like, you're stupid, you're leaving something for another thing or whatever. I mean, I do whatever I gotta do to feel better, and I'd rather smoke than drink. And I'm not doing the perks I used to do in the past with the cocaine, etc. And I don't even know why I'm telling you so much shit.
I appreciate it. No, man, I think it's real. It's real. And
I'm real.
Yeah, and if anything, it's impressive how aware you are of yourself, having had so much trauma, stress, pain. Like, you're so aware. Like, that's what I'm noticing in you. I'm listening to you. I'm like, wow, this person's so aware. You're so open to people in your inner circle being able to share their feedback with you.
Yeah.
You said it's lonely at the top, but it seems like you've surrounded yourself with people that can be honest with you and are honest with you. And
yeah,
that's beautiful.
you could have good people next to you and still feel lonely.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know how to explain that.
Mm.
For some reason, you can have good people next to you. I have a good circle of people. I have good friends. I have a good girl. I have beautiful kids. My kids are big now. You know, they're all in college and high school. And I'm not the typical guy that calls the family every day and checks on them. I'm the guy that when you call, I'm there. You know, my dad calls me and I'll be there in a second. Anything he needs. My mom as well. My kids as well. Even my friends.
Mm.
Sometimes I just don't want to be next to people, but it's not because I'm a jerk. Because I love my friends.
Mm.
And my friends have been my family for a long time because, you know, I've been on the road so long. I've been more on the road than in my house, you know, traveling the world. I've traveled the world. I've done so much around the world that to be in my house is just something that doesn't happen. But yeah, sometimes you still feel lonely. It's just the traumas, man. The traumas take you there. But I deal with it. I mean, I'm just opening it up to you. I'm not,
For
you know,
sure.
it's not that I've been laughing my whole way here.
Yeah.
I have a good time. I make fun of myself. I joke around everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun. But, you know, I'm a human being. And that's what I want people to understand. I have my days just like you. I have my depressions just like you. I have my insecurities just like you. I have all that shit that people think we don't have because we have money, we have cars, we have all that bullshit that the reality is just nothing, you know? At the end of the day, it's just when you're alone in that bed, you know, you're dying in that bed, you don't have a Ferrari next to you. You don't have a whole bunch of girls next to you. You don't have a whole bunch of friends next to you. It's your family who's there with you, you know? So I'm real.
Yeah. No, walk me through. There's some things you said to me that I think, you know, people won't experience once, let alone 50, 60 times. You were saying like nearly being killed. Like, what is that? That must be a life-altering experience. But when you've had it 50, 60 times, I mean, do you become immune to that? Does that just become normal? Walk me through.
Not now. No, not now. Because I left that life a long time ago. But yeah.
At that time?
And that time, yes, of course. Yeah, I didn't care.
Walk me through one of the events that was the worst, like that was the closest.
Oh my God! I mean, there's so many things I can't even talk about because the thing. Well, I could almost talk about. I was at this club and I just bought a gun. I bought a gun, and for some reason, this gun, if you lower the safety, it shoots because the gun was they put it fully automatic in a street way. So I bought this gun. I went into a club. The way I got into the club with the gun is funny. That I put it in my chain and I tucked it in. Security guy touched it. I said it was, it was if you had like a how do you call that? Like a rosemary or something like that, or a Santa Maria or anything gold.
Yeah,
they can't touch it because it's prepared. It's a Puerto Rican thing. And so I got in my gun and I shot the gun inside there, and then
not at someone, just
no. I didn't want to shoot it. I lowered the safety and it shot.
Right.
So I'm in the club and the big guy from Puerto Rico, the one that he was I'm not gonna say names, but the big guy, he was there, and his right man was there too. And they tell him, "Yo, Nicky's shooting in the club." And then the big guy knew me, the top guy, he knew me, and he was like, "No, he's Nicky, I'll deal with him. Don't worry about that. That's my boy." But then I was hiding myself behind this guy because I knew I just shot the roof of the club, and I didn't want nobody to know it was me. And I had an argument with the guy, and the guy said he was with the top guy, and I said, "I don't care you with the top guy," but he told the top guy, "He's like, Nicky said he don't care about you." So his right hand man came to shoot me, and then I shoot my way out. I shot him too, and they gave me that phone call saying, "Bro, wherever we get you, it's done." That was a scary moment because I know who this guy was, and he was one of the biggest guys in Puerto Rico. Long story short, the whole music industry helped me not get killed, and I had to pay my way to help the guy because the guy had how do you call this? He had diabetes. So when if you get shot having diabetes, for some reason it affects you way more. And I had to pay a lot of money. In that moment, we didn't make that much money in the music industry. And I got out of that. But that's just one of the stories of a whole bunch of stories I could tell you.
Wow, man. And like you said, there's real fear there.
When a guy like that calls you and tells you it's done, it's one of the worst things you could hear in your life. It's just, I went through a lot of stuff, man. I went through a lot of stuff, and I was just a rebel. My mom not being there made me not care about living, and it's just the way it was.
Hey, I'm Jack Beast Thomas, the host of a brand new Black Effect original series, Black Lit, the podcast for diving deep into the rich world of Black literature. I'm Jack Beast Thomas, and I'm inviting you to join me and a vibrant community of literary enthusiasts dedicated to protecting and celebrating our stories. Black Lit is for the page turners, for those who listen to audiobooks while commuting or running errands, for those who find themselves seeking solace, wisdom, and refuge between the chapters. From thought-provoking novels to powerful poetry, we'll explore the stories that shape our culture. Together, we'll dissect classics and contemporary works while uncovering the stories of the brilliant writers behind them. Blacklit is here to amplify the voices of Black writers and to bring their words to life. Listen to Blacklit on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Want to know how to leverage culture to build a successful business? Then Butternomics is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Brandon Butler, founder and CEO of Butter ATL. Over my career, I've built and helped run multiple seven-figure businesses that leverage culture and built successful brands. Now I want to share what I've learned with you. And on Butternomics, we go deep with today's most influential entrepreneurs, innovators, and business leaders to peel back the layers on how they use culture as the driving force in their business. On every episode, we get the inside scoop on how these leaders tap into culture to build something amazing. From exclusive interviews to business breakdowns, we'll explore the journey of turning passion for culture into business. Whether you're just getting started or an established business owner, Butternomics will give you what you need to take your game to the next level. This is Butternomics. Listen to Butternomics on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, y'all? This is Questlove, and at QLS I get to hang out with my friends, Sugar Steve, Laia, Fontigolo, Unpaid Bill, and we, at Questlove Supreme like to nerd out and do deep dives with musicians and actors and politicians and journalists.
We give you the stories behind all your favorite artists and creatives that you have never heard. I'm talking about stories behind their life journeys and their works of art.
I love QLS because of the QLS Team Supreme. They're like a second family to me.
If you're a fan of deep diving into music, everything, almanacking your musical history, and learning things about hip-hop artists and things you never thought, then you're a lot like me. But you're also a fan of Questlove Supreme.
One of the things I love the most about this show is that we get to learn from the masters. I look at being on this show as my graduate program in music.
Listen to Questlove Supreme on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Suprema!
How long were you ever in prison for the longest time?
Like 3 years.
3 years in one stretch?
Yeah.
Walk us through what 3 years in prison looks like, because I feel like, again, most people only see it in the movies and, it's glorified in a TV show.
At the beginning, you get all claustrophobic and you feel like you're going to die. I mean, come on, you're used to living in a house, and from living in a house, you're living in four walls.
Like this, like smaller than this.
No, this is huge, bro. Yeah. No, I mean, from where you are to where I am, and probably a little bit over here. That's it. That's all you got in a toilet. But the reality of everything, I've always been the soul of the party. So I made these people have fun. I sang for them. I made jokes all day because I'm a joker. I be doing jokes. And people love me. People love me, and they were going to give me 6 years. And from 6 years, I came out in 3. So I try not to talk too much about that because it was crazy days. But I could tell you that I thought for one moment everything was going to be done when I got into that place. And as soon as I came out, coming inside it is not a problem. When you come out and you front everything that you left before you went inside jail, just like drugs, you stop doing drugs and then you got to confront yourself with all the things that made you get into drugs. So I don't know. I'm just happy I'm outside.
Yeah. No, I'm fascinated because it's such a unique life experience that, I don't get to speak to someone who's had that experience and then had the other experience that you've had. So to me, I'm just curious because I feel like we have such a limited understanding of that life experience from the outside in. Like you have no clue what it looks like to have that experience. And I love what you said, that it's actually harder when you come out and you've got to see where everything's kind of, you got to catch up with life.
Catch up with life and, and come back and do a comeback. And it was worse. I came out and it was worse and worse and worse. And I did more drugs and more drugs. And it came to a moment I looked all messed up because Perks was a drug that will make you eat. So I was a drug addict. I was a big drug addict. You know what I'm saying? I was an overweight drug addict. I would rather be a skinny drug addict. It makes more sense. But I wasn't. I was eating all this shit and, and overweight and just, embarrassments. So it was just horrible. But, moving to Colombia changed my life.
Why did that change your life?
Well, the reality is sometimes you have to move. You can't stay in one place. And they called me for a show in Colombia when I was in my worst moment. And I went over there and I performed. Reality, I acted like I was my own manager. I changed my voice. They're like, yo, can we get Nicky Jam for the 18th? One moment, let me put my manager. Yes, what do you need right now? Changed my voice and I acted like I was my own manager. And I went to Colombia and I'm thinking over here, I'm the worst guy on the list of singers that's going to be in this concert. All these kids were popping. They were like killing the game. I haven't been in Colombia for a long time, so I go over there and I'm over here thinking, damn, I'm singing these old songs. You know, I've been out of the game for so long and not doing well. And, you know, I don't know if I want to go on stage, you know, like I got even nervous and everything. And I'm seeing that all these kids are performing and they saving me for last. And I tell the promoter, like, bro, why are you leaving me for last? I mean, you got all these kids, they killing the fucking game right now. They doing everything perfect. Like, why are you leaving? He's like, we saving you for last, bro, because you're the one people want to see. You never did a show here when you was really popping, so people want to see you. So when I got on stage, it was standing ovation. I mean, people were like crazy. And it went from that to that same 2 weeks, I was doing like 15 shows I did. Cheap, but hey, I made some money and I paid the rent. Went back to Puerto Rico, paid the rent, bought myself a car, And I'm thinking, the f am I doing here in Puerto Rico? I have this country that loves me so much. I'm working and I feel good over there. So it started from me like staying 2 weeks, 3 weeks, to me saying, you know what, I'm moving here. I'm moving to this country. And I was going through a bad moment there. You know, I was going through a really bad moment in Puerto Rico and I went through a lot of embarrassments and stuff like that. So people in Colombia was seeing me as an idol, an icon. They were like, Nicky, you're an icon. I'm like, icon? What do you mean? I'm broke. An icon, I'm overweight, broke. How are you going to call me an icon? But people, see, when people give you that love and they say you the best, you believe it. So thanks for them people giving me that love and saying I'm the best. I did believe I was the best until I became the best. And I conquered the world. I realized the country had more than 65 million people, and it was the YouTube era. And I said, you know what? If I have one number one hit, national hit in this country, I could probably have so many views that I could make other countries want to know why I have so many views. And it went from having one national hit to 5 national hits and having 15 million in one song, 20 million in another one, 30 million in another one. People was like, yo, Nicky's popping. And from there, it went to Chile. From there, it went to Ecuador. From there, it went to here, Europe, blah, 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 blah. And then from there, I did 5 number one global hits. Did the World Cup, did movies in Hollywood, and et cetera, et cetera. I did everything. And thanks to Colombia, you know, thanks for the love they gave me. Thanks for the support they gave me. Thanks for making me think that I was somebody bigger than I thought I was, you know? And that's just something that I appreciate so much. And that's why I love the country everywhere I go. And every country I go, I talk about Colombia. I could be in Mexico and I talk about Colombia. I could be in Puerto Rico and I talk about Colombia. And I say, hey, if you guys see 2 Colombians walking around the streets, give them love. Why? Because they took one of yours and they gave them love. And that's just the way I see it. That's the way I believe it. You know, if I see somebody from Colombia struggling in my country, I'm living in Puerto Rico, I'll get them in my house. I'll take care of them because Colombia did it with me. They gave me love when I needed it. I owe them so much. That's why I always try to, you know, show love and do whatever I could do to help the country, you know?
Yeah, I really believe in this idea of having a power place or a purpose place in the world. There are certain places that you move to that it feels like the whole universe is conspiring for you to grow and become something.
Yeah, Colombia is exactly that.
Colombia is that for you.
And I appreciate that so much. You know, even if I wish I would have went before.
Yeah. There's a reason why like places become iconic for something. Like you look at Silicon Valley and tech, or you look at LA and entertainment, you look at New York and finance, you look at, you know, even I was with my friend in, you know, we're in Oxford in England, and like literally every book that we grew up on, whether it was Alice in Wonderland or Lord of the Rings, was written in that area of Oxford.
Of course.
And so it's like you've got all these hubs in the world where writers, creatives, artists, entrepreneurs gravitate because there's an energetic pull in that place.
Yeah.
And for you, you know, Colombia sounds like it was that power place, that purpose place.
It was 100%. And I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I can see that.
For the country. And I would always give love and show love to the country.
Yeah.
Until the day I die. And I don't mind dying in Colombia, you know, because I feel like I'm dying home, you know.
Mm. What was it like having that conversation with your mom after you had context of whatever she went through? What did it feel like to like approach that? Because the reason I ask it is I feel like a lot of us judge our parents for not giving us enough, for not being there, for maybe, you know, creating our trauma, etc. How do you then have that conversation to be like, I don't judge you, like this is how I, like, how do you even navigate a conversation like that?
My mom is not an easy individual. My mom is very complicated. She's not, well, you gotta understand, my mom was a lady that she was a drug addict most of her life, you know. It's not like you're gonna talk to a typical mom that's gonna like talk to you and say, yes, son, how you doing? And it's, you know, a person that literally was raised in the streets, you know? So having a conversation with my mom is not the easiest thing in the world, but I give her the message in a strong way because I have my mom's character. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it. Mm-hmm. My sister has my dad's, and my mom is a strong woman and she don't take shit from nobody. And I'm a strong motherfucker. I don't take shit from nobody. That's just the way I am. I've always been like that since I was a kid. I was raised like that, and you know, my mom raised me like that. And in the small time she was with me, she would tell me in school, she was like, if you go and you fight in school and the kid you was fighting with, he beat up more than you, I'm gonna whoop your ass when you get home. Automatically, my mom gave me that. I gotta whoop people's asses. If I go back home, my mom's gonna whoop me, and I'm more scared of my mom than the kid in school. So she made me a tough guy, you know? She made me a tough guy. The conversation was just me being strong to her and telling her, hey, you know what? You did this. You went through this. I understand you. I went through a lot of shit myself. I needed you. Well, you here now, and we here. And that's all that matters, you know? And I take care of her. I bought her a house. You know, I give her money monthly. Anything she needs, you know, I take care of her. You know, it's hard because, you know, to have a relationship, she lives in Dominican Republic, she can't travel. Mm. You know, I've been fighting for her to have her, you know, a pardon from the United States so she could come back. She can't have it right now. But I leave everything in God's hands.
Mm. Do you pray a lot?
If I say I pray a lot, I'm a liar, man. I have so much... It's so funny, man. I have so much ADD that even if I pray, I can lose myself praying.
So it goes from...
I don't know if I'm the only one that has that situation.
I think we all have that. I think we all have like...
But I talk to God.
Yeah.
I don't pray.
Yeah.
Because praying has a process.
Mm.
You know, praying is just not like... yeah, God, I need you to hook me up with this and that. No, praying is more like, you know, like you have to first say, you know, thank you for everything I have. Ask for other people's, you know, blessings and health and all that. And then you talk about yourself. That's the right way of doing it. That's the way the Bible says you should do it.
Mm.
I don't go through all that process every time. I do it sometimes. But I talk to God here and there. You know, I talk to God and I have conversations with God. I feel like God is my best friend. I know it's not the right way. I know I should pray more.
No, I mean, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
That sounds like the essence of prayer.
Yeah, I mean, well, me being a guy that knows about the Bible and knows about the Word of God, I know there's a better way of having a connection with God. And a better way of praying. They say that you wake up every morning and you get on your knees and you pray is the right way. I wake up noxious in the morning like I feel like I'm sick in the morning. I gotta eat something first. So if I get on my knees and I start praying and I don't feel good, I don't feel like I'm giving the best. I don't know if I'm.
I think you're all of us. I think that makes sense,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I mean, can I at least eat a piece of bread or something so I can like really focus on praying the right way?
That's brilliant.
I mean, look at my past and look at everything I've been through, and I'm still here. You know, I feel God has a purpose for me. He has a huge purpose for me, and I feel God loves me the way I am. I mean, I feel if I go to heaven, and I'll probably like joke around with God and, you know, playing around with his beard and you know, just the way I see myself. He made me. He knows the way I am. He knows my essence. He made me. I have respect for God. I love God. And I know the time will come where I would have to like really dedicate myself to God because he has given me so much and I haven't given him what I have to, you know? So I know I owe God a lot. You know,
That's beautiful, man.
I'll pay him back.
You've had a lot of figures in your life that have been important at different times. And of course, as you mentioned earlier, like Daddy Yankee was in that mixtape time and, you know, growing you. And then, of course, I believe the relationship didn't go as, you know, relationships fizzle out and don't always work the same. Have you found a way to reconcile those relationships as well? Or are you kind of sometimes like, if it didn't work out, part ways, move on?
Well, the only persons who I had situations like that, was Daddy Yankee. And me and him were better than ever. He texted me, I think it was yesterday or today. He's in church now. He's with God now 100%. And I'm really happy for him. And he knows what I've been going through and all that. And we've talked before. We had conversations. And, you know, me and him are like better than ever now. So I can't say forgiveness because he didn't do anything to me. If we could say it was the other way around, he always tried to be the big brother and I always try to be the wreck. Getting Daddy Yankee out of the situation, any person that I've had problem with that done something to me, I forgive and I feel better because the forgiveness is not for them, it's for yourself, you know? And I feel better. You know, I've had problems even here today. I have a friend, he's right here with me and we didn't talk to each other for I don't know, 4 years or something like that.
Wow.
We was mad. We had a bad situations and now we're joking in the car like nothing happened. I think that's the way it should be. Life is too short, you know, and to hold grudges and be mad and shit and be mad with people. Just go back to people. And they gave me so much in a moment that it's crazy like not to be with them. They could f up too, you know? You know, people up and sometimes do things that other people will never forgive. Now I'm gonna tell you this though. I forgive, but I never forget. And with that, I'll say everything.
Last year when I went on my world tour, something that I was doing throughout the show was I was creating moments of growth, but that were discomfort for people from the audience. So I would bring people up and I would guide them and coach them through an uncomfortable situation in their life. So at the end of the show, there was this one moment that we did across the world. So we did it at 40 shows across the world. And I would ask people in the audience if there was someone in their life that they loved, but that they haven't talked to in 5, 10, 15 years. And people had crazy stories. There were people who like hadn't talked to their kids for 10 years, brothers and sisters who hadn't talked for 5 years, you know, people who hadn't talked to their ex for 7 years, whatever, all these stories. And I'd invite someone on stage who felt comfortable and I'd coach them through it and I'd ask them to call that person on stage in front of everyone, but not tell them that they're at an event and share how they really felt. And it was amazing, man, to see like out of the 40 phone calls, 20 went to voicemail, but 20 went through to the person. And it wasn't about a happy ending or it wasn't about like a perfect reconnection. It was about what you said. Life was too short to carry that weight of I love this person and I haven't said it. Or I used to really appreciate this friend and we lost touch. We fell out over nothing, or maybe we fell out over something. When you're reconnecting with people in your life, what's been the thing that's allowed you to have the courage to do that? Like you've done it with your mom, you've done it with Daddy Yankee. Like where's that coming from?
That's just Nicky. I only have one friend that I didn't talk to that I had problems with. It was the one I just told you. I'm the stupid one that always forgive people. When I say stupid, it's because that's what people tell me. You know, not because I think I'm stupid, because I forgive people and I reconnect with them again. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. It don't affect me anymore. Like if something affect me in the moment, but I don't. It makes me forget. I don't know why. It's just the way I am. I don't stay with that shit here. Probably it makes me a better person. Probably it makes me a happier person. I feel that I'm a happier person because of that. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I don't go through shit. Yes, I have a whole bunch of situations in life, but I have better quality of life because I forgive. I have no problem with forgiveness. I have no problem with sitting in a car with somebody that me in the past. I have no problem with that. I don't feel like some people, the ego them up. Like, oh yeah, you think you me? I'm gonna get you, motherfucker. I don't have that situation. If I love you back again, I love you back again. You know, it's just the way I am. You know, I don't want people to be like me. I just want people to do whatever the you do to make you happy. You know, whatever makes you happy, just do it. That's what I do. I ain't trying to live like the way people tell me to. I'm trying to live the way I'm happy. You know, that's just the way I am.
Does that apply to you as well? Do you think you can forgive yourself easily as well?
You know, I've never seen me in a situation where I do not forgive, where I need forgiveness for myself because I've done things to people. I've been a good human being to people, you know? Stuff I've done in the streets and stuff like that are to people that are really bad people, you know? So I don't know if I need their forgiveness, you know? But I feel good about me as a human being. You know, I'm happy and I'm proud of myself. I've helped my family. I've helped people in the streets. I've helped my friends. If I buy a motorcycle, we all have motorcycles. If I eat, we all eat. That's just the way I am. The guy in the corner, if he's there, he ain't eating, come eat with me. You know what I'm saying? I like helping people. I enjoy the smiles on people's face when I help them. I'm proud of myself because I'm that human being. If I wasn't that human being, I wouldn't be. I'm not a selfish motherfucker. I will never be that guy. I see movies where people help other people and then I cry. Tears like that. My girl's been with me in the same room and she seen me crying like a girl in movies. Why? Because I'm a good human being. When you a good human being and you see people doing good, you cry. But if you see shit like that and you don't give a I just think you a piece of shit too. That's just the way I am.
Yeah.
Because you don't care.
Yeah.
Why would you not care? Why won't you see somebody helping somebody else? Don't see that, and why would that not affect you? It affects me in a good way. It's like shit. So that I'm proud of myself as a human being. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud that I like helping people. I'm proud that I'm a real person. I'm proud that I'm a person that if I f up, I'll say it. Up. You know? That's just the way I am. And I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. And I'll f up tomorrow and I'll fall. But I'll wake up and I'll clean my shit. I keep going. You know?
When you find that bright spot to help you get through your day, it's powerful.
That's where The Bright Side comes in, a new daily podcast from Hello Sunshine that's bringing you a daily dose of joy. I'm Danielle Robay.
And I'm Simone Boyce. Listen, both Danielle and I are reporters. We've covered the news and we know the world can feel heavy. But The Bright Side podcast is a space to have a little fun, to learn something new, and get into some friendly debates.
That's right. Join us 5 days a week to see how life can look from the bright side. We'll hear from celebrities, authors, experts, and listeners like you.
Whether it's relationships, friend advice, or figuring out how to navigate life's transitions, we'll talk through it all together.
Listen to The Bright Side from Hello Sunshine every weekday on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get emotional with me, Radhi Devlukia, in my new podcast, A Really Good Cry.
We're going to talk about and go through all the things that are sometimes difficult to process alone. We're going to go over how to regulate your emotions, diving deep into holistic personal development, and just building your mindset to have a happier, healthier life. We're going to be talking with some of my best friends.
I didn't know we were going to go there on this.
People that I admire.
When we say listen to your body, really tune into what's going on.
Authors of books that have changed my life.
Now you're talking about sympathy, which is different than empathy, right?
And basically have conversations that can help us get through this crazy thing we call life.
I already believe in myself. I already see myself. And so when people give me an opportunity, I'm just like, oh, great, you see me too.
We'll laugh together, we'll cry together, and find a way through all of our emotions. Never forget, it's okay to cry as long as you make it a really good one. Listen to A Really Good Cry with Radhi Devlukia on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to the Overcomfort Podcast with Jenica Lopez. Yup, that's me. You may know my late mom, Jenny Rivera, my queen. She's been my guiding light as I bring you a new season of Overcomfort Podcast. This season, I'll continue to discover and encourage you and me to get out of our comfort zones and choose our calling. Join me as I dive into conversations that will inspire you, challenge you, and bring you healing. We're on this journey together. I'm opening up about my life and telling my story in my own words. Yes, you'll hear it from me first before the cheeseman lands on your social media feed. If you thought you knew everything, guess again. So I took another test with Ancestry, and it told me a lot about who I am. And it led me to my biological father. And everyone here, my friends laugh, but I'm Puerto Rican. Listen to the Overcomfort Podcast with Jenica Lopez as part of My Cultura Podcast Network, available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast.
Why did you say you were going to retire when you said today you were like, I would never have done that? And then what has inspired insomnia? What part of your heart and mind is that coming from?
Drinking makes you say stupid things, makes you get depressed, makes you see everything
closes in.
It's not really. And that's what was going on in that situation. And it made me post a thing that I was retired. Now, I'm not retiring, never. Hell no. I will never retire. Music is my life. Music is everything for me. But that's what fucking alcohol do. It fucks up your judgment. You know what I'm saying? And I've been through that a lot. For some reason, it made me not care in that moment. Once I stopped drinking, I'm like, hell no. I erased that video and everything. But nah, I'm not retiring. You was asking about
Insomnia, the album. Yeah, what's that been inspired by with this whole new journey you're on right now? Like you said,
if you listen to the whole album, Insomnia, all the songs has something to do with the nighttime and me drinking and me partying and me going crazy and me smoking and me my love lives and stuff like that. So the album has that situation that I've been going through these last years. Music is my art of expression. And I took my time to do this album, and I think it's one of the best albums I ever done. Everything has the same color. The album cover is amazing. It's really what I've been through. Like if you see the picture, you would automatically say, okay, I could understand him just seeing his face. The songs from the number 1 song to the 15th song. And not only that, apart from that, this song, Insomnia, that's the single that's coming out, for me is going to be a global hit because I went hard on this song. It talks about the situation of my drinking and all that, but at the same time, it's a sad song, but it's a happy song. It's crazy. Like if you listen to it, you would never imagine the way it started, because it started as a slow R&B sad song. And I told my boy, the guy that, wrote the song with me, Sneakers are badass, by the way.
Thanks, man.
I was telling him, yo, the song is badass, but we need a upbeat. We need to make this shit upbeat, man. We need a shit. This song is too good to be just one of the songs in the album. Just one of the songs. And I was like, hell no, we need to make this shit a motherfucking hit. And I said, well, let's do merengue. And I was in the bathroom with my girl, and I started around, you know what I'm saying? Like singing this song. I did it with my mouth. And I said, I called the producers like, yo, let's try to do this. And we took it that route.
Mm.
And bro, I think we cooked a mega hit. So I think the album is just me expressing myself of what I've been through these last years. And at the same time, it made good ass music.
Mm.
So I want people to enjoy it. I want people to have fun with this album and, sit down and analyze the lyrics, because every song has a little something that tells you about what I've been through and what I've been going through these last years.
Mm. I noticed something amazing. When you started talking about the album, you went completely still.
When
you started talking about the music,
Yeah.
your whole body and everything went completely still. Completely still. If everyone rewinds and just goes back to that, when you were locked in talking about the music and the album.
I mean, it's my art, man. It's my art. It's what makes
amazing.
It's my psychology. My psychology. What?
Yeah, psychology. Yeah.
It's my psychology. And I feel like it tells my story. It tells my situation.
Mm.
It makes me happy in a way where I could like express myself.
Mm.
And we're always misunderstood as artists. And there's no better way to clear the misunderstandings by your art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's something that people don't know about you that you wish they did?
I don't know. I'm so open.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I was like,
I'm so
you've
open.
shared so much of your life.
I tell people the way I am. I don't care. I speak what I think. It's really hard.
What's something people misunderstand about you that you'd like to clarify?
It could be my situations in my relationships.
Mm.
A lot of people see me jumping around from relationship. Well, not jumping around, but let's say I've had a lot of relationships that haven't worked. And for some reason, people think that I'm just unstable. And not necessarily unstable. I just think that sometimes it doesn't work.
Mm.
And it's